Hey all. As you can see, I'm not particularly wearing appropriate shoes for this, but such as things are, I'm incredibly bored. And first of all, this is a Shambach. It's a one-piece whip or a solid whip. Um, Unlike the regular whip where you have the handle and the flexible piece, this is generally made of hard plastic. There are various sizes of it. In Eskrima Criolla, they have their version in Argentina called the Rebenque, which is like a hard leather handle with a flexible end attached to it. But generally, as I usually use this as my replica of it, they serve the same purpose. They're interchangeable depending on what kind of tool you have. This is generally perceived as non-lethal. It carries a lot of power and tests pain threshold and pain tolerance quite heavily. With the regular strikes that you have, it is a little bit different than the regular impact weapon in that you have to have that elastic recoil in the wrist that times the point of impact to the target as closely as possible. So it's not just a matter of blowing through it with power. There is a little bit of finesse involved. If you want to just get used to the regular motions that you usually use, you're easily able to do that. You can intersperse it with hard shots to see how your power is generating. Right? You can hear that whooshing sound upon impact. Try and time that. I'm using the phone now as a gauge to get that right in the center there. Whatever strike I'm using that as kind of the central point of where I want to hit. So I mean, you can intersperse that, you can add footwork to it. And like I said, it is a little bit different of a motion than a regular impact weapon like a stick or a staff. You can hear it humming quite frequently when you're moving with it. Another area off of that, since we use a lot of ponchos or shirts or jackets, as we've explained in earlier videos with the Eskrima Criolla, instead of using different length weapons, different size weapons, very rarely do you see people interspersing two flexible weapons, both of different length and different method of usage. So I mean, that's something that can be practiced too, right? You can start off with a poncho or jacket if you want and get a feel for how it moves. And slowly start intertwining motions with the other flexible weapon, noting that there is recoil with them, and you will need to be more careful in the beginning. As you start using the weapons together and moving out of the way of shots, getting the feel for how those weapons work together, right? And how they don't get intertwined with each other during that process. The same patterns that you usually use are applicable here as well. Changing levels, high and low, X's. Doubles from the same place. Right, so you get a feel for two different things, and there is a high level consciousness that goes into being aware of where those weapons end up, so you're not a victim of that recoil action from either one. Right. So just a new element to play with that we often don't. And it's a new thing to test areas of training, to add to that consciousness of where your tools are, how they're handled, how they can present a problem if missing the target. and recuperating. So just something to play with. Enjoy.